Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the John Deere AMT 600 engine swap. It's where I'm at with it. I got the motor in there. It's like a couple months ago and I haven't touched it since. So got the motor in there. What I think we're going to do now is pull this motor out, take that plate off, and see if I can drop it down a little bit further. That way I can use the stock gas tank. All right, so I went ahead and pulled the motor back out. There was an engine plate on here for the original motor. I took that out, had to grind 2 bolts off. They just were spinning in there. It's easier just to cut them off than to try to get them off. So what I'm gonna do now is I got some just pieces of flat, I don't know, you'd call it this type of metal. It's 10 inches from here to here. So I'm gonna cut 2, and then hopefully I can use these sliders to adjust it with the belt. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those cut. All right, so we're in the other shop, the wood shop. It's just easier to cut in here. The other shop's a little bit of a disaster right now. So I'm gonna measure these to 10 inches. Go ahead and cut that. I'm going to sweep some of this sawdust out of the way. Don't want to start a fire in here. All right, let's see how straight I can cut this with just a grinder. Straight enough. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the next one, then I'll bring you guys back. Just gonna go ahead and clean these up a little bit on the grinder or sander. Good enough for what it's for. All right, so let's go back to the other shop and see where we need to drill the holes for the motor. All right, so drilling the holes for the motor mounts. Already did 2 on this side just to start it. This drill bit's not very sharp, so go ahead and put a little bit of oil down here on the hole. Go ahead and do the other one, I'll bring you guys back. All right, went ahead and got holes drilled in these. Let's go back over to the barn and see if this is gonna work. So I'm having a hard time mounting this engine because I can't see the back where the motor mounts. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bolt these to the engine, and then I'm gonna set this in here, and then I'll figure out where to drill the other holes. So I know it needs to go over to the right more, so I drilled these. Let's see. Perfect, that'll work. Cool. I'll bring you guys back when we get this bolted on there. All right, so I went ahead and bolted these just loosely on here to get this fitted up in there. I wouldn't go with this motor if you're doing this swap. This motor's just a little too big. I mean, this is about as straight as I get that belt. So I'd probably just do like a 420 Predator if I was gonna redo this. But I got this motor for cheap, so that's why I bought it. So I took a paint pen and a paint marker and just marked where I need to drill the other holes. So we'll go ahead and pull this back out for the 1000th time, go drill those, and then we'll hard mount the motor. And then we'll see if we can get it to start. I lost the woodruff key. So if I can't find that, I'm gonna try to make one or figure something out. So, all right, I'll keep you guys updated. All right, so just show you guys what I ended up doing for the motor mounts. Took that flat stock, cut it, drilled it. I notched these because I want to be able to do a little bit of adjustment on the motor if I need to. So let's go ahead and put it in the frame now. All right, so I got the motor in. Just need to tighten down these nuts and bolts. Belt's nice and straight. As I was putting the motor back in for the last time, I was thinking, I'm not going to use this shifter. And this shifter's been in the way the whole time. It's caused me a lot of issues. So I finally took it off and the motor fits perfect. It's really tight though. But this is a 16 horse motor, so we'll see how it does. It's probably a lot for this little thing, but should be enough. One thing I just thought about is I've never checked the oil in that rear diff. Sorry, it's a mess in here. Stuff everywhere. Let's check that oil real quick. Hopefully this all wasn't for a waste of time. I got this without a motor, if you haven't seen the other parts, so I'm not sure why this was torn apart. Let's see here. I think these transmissions are pretty bulletproof. Well, there's no dipstick. I'll just take a screwdriver. Make sure there's something in there. Let's see. Oh yeah. That looks nice and clean too. Cool. Let's hope that clutch is good. I have no idea. This whole thing's fought me tooth and nail the whole time to get in here. This was not a simple swap. It looks like it would be, but it wasn't. So, just glad I finally got the motor in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and bolt it down and then figure out the exhaust, what I'm gonna do about this intake, and then the gas tank. I wanna see if I can fit the gas tank on there now that this is a lot lower than it was. So I'll bring you guys back. All right, I went ahead and did some stuff off camera, just trying to get this finished up because I want to start it today. So I ended up finding the woodruff key, put that in there, torqued that down, and Loctited it. Don't laugh, this is only temporary. Haven't figured out how I'm going to mount this gas tank yet, so just ratcheted it, strapped it up there. I don't know if that's going to work. I had to crush the filter to get it to fit under there. Extended the fuel line so it could run back down to there. So let's go ahead and put some fuel in it and then push it outside and see if it'll start. All right, never mind. I'm not going to push it out. For some reason, there's gas leaking out of that thing down there, some kind of emissions thing. So let's go ahead and see if this thing's going to start. I'll have to investigate why it's doing that. All right, engine on, choke, see what she does. Nice. No choke. the heck? GoPro. All right, so I figured out why that breather and everything was filling up with gas. I assumed this was the gas line. This is like a, I guess, a vacuum line. This is the gas line, this little one. So let's see if it'll start now. All right, so it's the next day. Yesterday I tried to start this thing and it flooded out. I think it's because I hooked up the fuel line to the breather assembly and it just flooded it. So it's the next day. I'm gonna see if this thing will crank up. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube about these Duramax engines, and they usually start fine for people. So I don't know if I just got a bad one. There's really not a lot of room to work on this thing in this frame. Be kind of difficult to get that carb, just even the bowl off, to try to maybe blow out one of the jets. I don't know how it would be dirty. I'm assuming I have the fuel line right now, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's go ahead and see what it's gonna do. It's pretty noisy, obviously, with just running a straight pipe. And then I was thinking last night I might just notch this frame out just a little bit just to get the muffler on there. So let's go ahead. I'll set you guys up on the tripod and we'll try to start it up and see if it'll start. If not, I think I'm gonna have to order a different carburetor for it. These are just the cheap ones. I wanted to get one of the slide, you know, like motorcycle style carburetors so I could run just a regular throttle cable on it. Let's see. Put a glove on. I started to get blisters on my fingers. I pulled this so much yesterday. There, it's probably a better angle. Let's see what it's gonna do. It's on run. I'm assuming that's choke. Let's see. So there's no directional. I think that's choke on, fuel's on. See, in the fuel filter, it's getting fuel. I think I'm gonna loosen the bowl on the bottom of the, or the bolt on the bottom of the carb and see if it's getting fuel. Can definitely smell it. All right, let's go ahead and loosen this bolt. Kind of tight. Now I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna take the bowl all the way off. I'm just gonna see, yep, it's getting fuel. See it dripping out of the bottom, so it's getting fuel. Maybe I ought to pull the plug and see how much fuel's in that cylinder, because it was shooting out the exhaust yesterday. Well, I guess just draining that bowl was enough to get it to start. Interesting. See if it'll start again. On. Yeah, we gotta do something about that exhaust. It's not happy. I think I'll notch this frame. If we have any issues with it, I can always reinforce it. Alright, so I went ahead and pulled it out of the barn. I'm not gonna put that muffler on until I make sure this transmission at least works. I have no idea. Like I said, I got it without a motor. So I rigged up this. Hopefully I can pull that and it'll put it into gear. So I'm not sure if it idles too high, if it's going to engage right away and take off. So let's go ahead and start it up and see what it does. Or so. I think the choke's still on. Let's see. That's gas. Choke off on. Throttle. I guess we can. Gas is on. Maybe it wants to be in neutral. Let's see if I can reach in there. This bed's heavier than it looks. Okay. Maybe a little bit of gas. All right, I don't know if you can hear or not. It started to rain. So it runs, it did move, so I'll call that a win. I think that it needs an exhaust. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I don't think it has enough back pressure or something. It does run, it did move, so we know the transmission's good. So I think that's where I'm gonna end this video. I'm gonna work on figuring out an exhaust for it and a better way to mount that, and probably a better intake. I don't really know what the problem is. It's acting like it's getting too much fuel, then it acts like it doesn't get fuel. I don't know. I think it doesn't have enough back pressure to run. So I'm gonna figure out an exhaust, and then there'll be a part 3. Thanks for watching.